I don't buy toys that often, but found some pretty cool. Here we go. Hey everybody, it's Troy, your hourly flipper. I hope things are going well for you. What I've got is a video that's going to have only two things that have sold in the past 24 hours. And the reason that I'm doing this video is because I went to my local Goodwill about 100 yards out of the way of going to Kroger, and I found a veritable gold mine. I want to show you what I picked up and tell you approximately how much it's going to be. Let's see which sold first. If you watched my last video, you'll see how I picked this up. It is the software for a iMac, and that is it, okay? I bought it for 50 cents, and with this one, I'm going to sell it for $15. Put it in a bubble mailer, and it is out. I'm proud of this one. I've always suggested that you should look for local history wherever you are. When people want that, they buy it and they spend money for it. So this is the fact, fiction, and folklore of Southern Indiana, okay? There's maybe like 50 people that live in Southern Indiana. But still, I bought this book. That's like 5 pages for each person. But I bought this book, and lo and behold, when I get home, it is signed by the author. And this book is a first edition 1967. So that is great, needless to say. And that sold for $35, 50 cents into $35. That's awesome. Sat for about 4 months. Gonna tell you a story about where I went before going to the Goodwill. There was a movie that came out recently called The Watchers, and it's based on a book. I read the book when I heard the movie was coming out. It's a better book than a movie, so I would suggest read the book. That came out with a sequel about 6 months ago, and I was excited about that. I just remembered it today, so I went to my local library, and it turns out they didn't have it, and they couldn't get books within the first year when it is a bestseller that had a movie. They're like incredible circumstances that they're not going to get this book until October. A little bit bummed. I'll have to find it elsewhere. But our library, because of space concerns, does not have an annual book sale. They always are feeding a little library that's right there. And it's important to them. They say, really, take what you want, enjoy them. I found a book, Nelson's Fleet at Trafalgar. Okay, this is like a trade paperback, and it is pretty specific. So I got it for free, and it is at about $22 right now. So that's pretty great. That will fit into a poly mailer and be super. Went to Goodwill. I've got a book, an audio CD set, and then some toys. I don't buy toys that often, but found some pretty cool. Here we go. Do you remember the movie that was based on the book called The Fault is in Our Stars? Remember that there were some pretty big stars in it? The book won some awards. Was written by John Green, and he wrote not a sequel book, just another book called Looking for Alaska. Went on a book tour after that, and he signed copies. And this is one of those signed copies. Can you see the price there? $1.59 for Looking for Alaska, a signed copy. This one is maybe a $40 book, but it could go for more. Now, this is fun. In the book section that I always go to in my Goodwill, there was a CD set of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and this is playback. All right. This is used. I paid $4.99 for it. There aren't any used ones on eBay right now. They are all new, and they're selling above 100. This is, I'm going to make sure it's clean, make sure all the parts are there, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to list it for $49, accept offers, and that's not bad to 10x my $5 investment. Isn't that pretty awesome? let me show you the toys. As I go and look at the books, I come the long way back to the cash register. And in the corner are the toys. I usually never see anything great in the toy section, but I found 3 things that were pretty great. The first one was, this is a, okay, I'm going to get nerdy for a second. This is a Beast Wars Optimal Prime, and he could turn into, he's a robot, he can turn into a gorilla and also a plane. Amazing. And it was there, and it had a price on it of $1.99. That's probably a $20 item, if not more. I'm being conservative with my $20 ones. So that was a great find. I take 2 steps down the aisle and I see this. Always look for dinosaurs, and particularly look on the foot. If they have a stamped number, they're valuable because they're a special kind of toy dinosaur. But also, if they have the actual Jurassic Park symbol on it, those are valuable too. This one was 99 cents. This is about $15. So that is pretty okay. Took another step down, and I don't know if this is going to work, but if it does work after I change the batteries, this is going to be the find of the day. Back when The Lost World was the Jurassic Park movie, this is a remote control Tyrannosaurus Rex. I say it with its formal terms, Tyrannosaurus. And the cord is still attached. I'm going to change the batteries. I'll put a special message out as a short if this actually works. I paid $2.99 for this. As is, it's probably $25. If it does work, because there's minimal damage, what I can show you is, I don't know if you can see that little hole? Everything else on his, the rubber body is super fine. One of his, treads? Do you see the tread that's kind of damaged there? That's that. If it works, I don't even know how good this could be. So that is super exciting. And that is only because as I was going to Kroger, I took the 100 yards and went to my Goodwill, saw some amazing books and CDs, and found a little bit of a toy haul that I thought was particularly awesome. So I wanted to get this recorded and out to you as soon as I could. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you would. That would be super great. Talk to you later.